Hola a todos. Hi, everybody. It's Aaron here to discuss some Spanish grammar, and today's topic is the past participle, or what we'll call in Spanish the perfect participle, el participio perfecto. And I'm going to explain what this is and how it is formed. So, thanks for joining me. ¿Qué es el participio perfecto? What is the perfect participle? The perfect participle is an impersonal form of the verb that expresses the perfective aspect. Okay, and the past participle indicates an action or state in its finalization or in its completion. So it's impersonal, it doesn't change. For person and number like other verb forms do and other tenses do. This is not a tense, this is a participle. It's part of a tense, potentially, as we'll see here. En combinación con el verbo auxiliar haber, se forman los tiempos compuestos para informar que una acción había, habrá, habría, haya o ha terminado o llegado a su fin. En esta función, el participio es siempre invariable. So, in combination with the auxiliary verb haber, the compound tenses are formed. Okay? And those are tenses with two pieces. So, you've got haber, and then you've got the perfect participle. And this tells us whether an action had been, will have been, would have been, may have been, or has been finished, okay, or has been completed. So in this function, it's an invariable form. So unlike Italian or French, the past participle does not need to match the gender of the subject, so it will not change. And this infinitive comer, to eat, has the perfect participle comido. So now we'll learn how to form that. There are AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs in Spanish. These are the infinitive endings of a verb. So when we conjugate verbs, we drop those infinitive endings off and we add personal endings. Well, here we've got just only one ending to add for all of the AR verbs, and that is ado. So we'll add that to the root of any AR verbs, and then ido will be added to the ER and IR verbs. Here's an example: estar, estado; llegar, llegado; dar, dado; trabajar, trabajado. Okay, so this means to be, been; to arrive, arrived; to give, given; to work, worked, etc. Okay, the ER verbs and IR verbs are easier. Well, they're not easier, but they're streamlined because they both take the same ending, ido. So for ser, to be, been is the past participle in English. In Spanish, that is sido. Okay, and ir, a verb. Both of these verbs are normally highly irregular, but it's very simple to form the past participle or the perfect participle. It just becomes ido, salir, salido; vivir, vivido; venir, venido; subir, subido. Okay, what do these things mean? To go, gone; to leave, left; to live, lived; to come, came; or has come, I guess, has come. Yeah, these are the meanings of this. So in English, it usually ends with an ed or en, and there are lots of irregulars. In Spanish, we only have one small spelling, well, two little spelling notes to take into account, and then there are a few irregular verbs. So those verbs that end with, that where the stem of the verb ends with a vowel. So in caer, the stem is ca. Creer, the first three letters are the stem. So the infinitive ending are going to be the AR, ER, IR endings. If the stem ends in a vowel, then you need to accent the ido. Okay, so this only applies to ER, IR verbs, really, because those are the only ones that fall into this category. But caer means to fall, caído, fallen, creer, to believe, creído, believed, leer, to read, leído, read, oír, to hear, oído, heard, poseer, to possess, poseído, possessed, reír, to laugh, sonreír, to smile, reído, sonreído, laughed, smiled. Okay. Traer, to bring, traído. Okay, and then atraído, so if there's a prefix, that will follow the same pattern. So, with exception of UIR, so there are a number of UIR verbs. If the stem ends in U with IR, that is not going to need the accent, so it will not carry an accent. Fluir, to flow, the word flowed does not take the accent. Huir, to boil, the word boiled does not need an accent. Destruir, incluir, concluir are other examples. Disminuir, to diminish. Okay, none of these take an accent. And then finally, these are the most important ones to learn for today. These are the irregular verbs, and as we saw, a lot of the verbs that normally would be irregular are not included in this list. It's a much shorter list than what we have to learn with other languages and what we have to learn even with other tenses in Spanish. But you do need to memorize this list: hacer, satisfacer, decir, escribir, to make, to satisfy, to say, to write. There are a handful of these verbs, hecho, satisfecho, dicho, escrito, that take fairly irregular, it does not take ado, ido endings. These are special forms that must be learned and memorized. So, romper, to break, roto, broken. Resolver, resuelto, resolved. Okay. Abierto, cubierto, open, covered. Muerto, dead. Puesto, put. Okay, or placed even. Ver, vuelto, seen, returned. This is the list. Now these have other forms. There are many prefixes that can be added to these verbs, and just like we saw with the regular verbs, any prefixes are allowed. Just make sure you form the past participle in the same way. Thanks so much for joining me. Hasta luego. Gracias por haber mirado este video. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Cuídense. Adiós.